HESI A2 ventilation and gas exchange. Question 1. Which option identifies the measurement most important for quantifying ventilation because it equals breathing rate multiplied by tidal volume? Option A, alveolar ventilation. Option B, minute ventilation. Option C, hematocrit. Option D, pulse pressure. The correct answer is option B, minute ventilation. A key clue is that this measurement measures total air moved each minute. It also equals breathing rate multiplied by tidal volume. That combination is central to quantifying ventilation. Question 2. Which option identifies the process with this feature? It assists inhalation. Option A, external intercostal contraction. Option B, elastic recoil. Option C, glycogenolysis. Option D, tubular reabsorption. The correct answer is option A, external intercostal contraction. This process participates in increasing lung volume. It elevates the ribs and expands the thorax, and it assists inhalation. Those details distinguish the tested concept from related choices. Question 3. A physiology item gives 2 clues. It measures the maximum movable air between deepest inhalation and fullest exhalation, and it equals several major lung volumes combined. Which option identifies the capacity? Option A, carboxypeptidase. Option B, renal compensation. Option C, phalanges of the hand. Option D, vital capacity. The correct answer is option D, vital capacity. The role tested here involves assessing ventilatory capacity. This capacity measures the maximum movable air between deepest inhalation and fullest exhalation. It can also be identified because it equals several major lung volumes combined.
Stressed about your ATITs 7? We can take ATITs 7 for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 4. A review item describes a process that is the main driver of quiet inhalation. Which option identifies it? Option A, diaphragm contraction. Option B, renal hydrogen secretion. Option C, central chemoreceptor. Option D, bone remodeling. The correct answer is option A, diaphragm contraction. For lowering intrapulmonary pressure, this process flattens the dome and increases vertical thoracic dimension. It can also be recognized because it is the main driver of quiet inhalation. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations. Question 5. Which option identifies the volume most important for assessing lung volumes because it measures additional air that can be exhaled after a normal expiration? Option A, residual volume. Option B, inspiratory reserve volume. Option C, tidal volume. Option D, expiratory reserve volume. The correct answer is option D, expiratory reserve volume. A key clue is that this volume reflects extra expiratory capacity. It also measures additional air that can be exhaled after a normal expiration. That combination is central to assessing lung volumes. Question 6. Which option identifies the process most important for loading hemoglobin in the lungs because it moves gas from alveoli into pulmonary capillary blood? Option A, transcription. Option B, oxygen diffusion. Option C, appositional growth. Option D, glomerular filtration rate. The correct answer is option B, oxygen diffusion. A key clue is that this process follows a partial minus pressure gradient. It also moves gas from alveoli into pulmonary capillary blood. That combination is central to loading hemoglobin in the lungs. Question 7. Which option identifies the compound most important for delivering oxygen to tissues because it forms when oxygen binds to hemoglobin? Option A, gluconeogenesis. Option B, thoracic cavity. Option C, oxyhemoglobin. Option D, opsonization. The correct answer is option C, oxyhemoglobin. A key clue is that this compound serves as the main form of oxygen transport in blood. It also forms when oxygen binds to hemoglobin. That combination is central to delivering oxygen to tissues. Question 8. A review item describes a process that helps drive quiet exhalation. Which option identifies it? Option A, elastic recoil. Option B, osmosis. Option C, phagocytosis. Option D, glomerular filtration rate. The correct answer is option A, elastic recoil. For reducing thoracic volume, this process returns stretched lung tissue toward resting size. It can also be recognized because it helps drive quiet exhalation. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations.
Are you looking for ATIT's 7 actual questions? Visit our website pokerexams.com to access ATIT's 7 study guide with actual questions and answers. Scan the QR code or click the link in the description to get ATIT's 7 answer key today.
Question 9. A review item describes a volume that prevents complete lung emptying and cannot be measured by simple spirometry. Which option identifies it? Option A, tidal volume. Option B, expiratory reserve volume. Option C, inspiratory reserve volume. Option D, residual volume. The correct answer is option D, residual volume. For maintaining gas exchange between breaths, this volume remains in the lungs after maximal exhalation. It can also be recognized because it prevents complete lung emptying and cannot be measured by simple spirometry. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations. Question 10. Which option identifies the process whose key function is, moves gas from pulmonary blood into alveoli? Option A, negative feedback. Option B, exocytosis. Option C, carbon dioxide diffusion. Option D, gluconeogenesis. The correct answer is option C, carbon dioxide diffusion. This process moves gas from pulmonary blood into alveoli. It occurs efficiently because the gas is highly soluble. These linked features explain the role in removing a metabolic waste. Question 11. A student is reviewing a concept involved in supporting cellular metabolism. Which option identifies the process with this function, exchanges gases between systemic blood and body tissues? Option A, translation. Option B, bicarbonate transport. Option C, internal respiration. Option D, proliferative phase. The correct answer is option C, internal respiration. The role tested here involves supporting cellular metabolism. This process exchanges gases between systemic blood and body tissues. It can also be identified because it moves oxygen into cells and carbon dioxide into blood. Question 12. A learner connects the clues, draws air into the lungs when thoracic volume increases and is an active process during quiet breathing. Which option best matches both clues? Option A, thermoregulation. Option B, glycogenolysis. Option C, glomerular filtration. Option D, inhalation. The correct answer is option D, inhalation. The function described is that this process draws air into the lungs when thoracic volume increases. A second identifying feature is that it is an active process during quiet breathing. Together, the two clues explain the role in ventilating the lungs. Question 13. Which option identifies the volume best matching this description? It is one component of minute ventilation, and it measures air moved in one quiet breath. Option A, residual volume. Option B, inspiratory reserve volume. Option C, tidal volume. Option D, expiratory reserve volume. The correct answer is option C, tidal volume. For describing normal breathing, this volume measures air moved in one quiet breath. It can also be recognized because it is one component of minute ventilation. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations. Question 14. A student is reviewing a concept involved in driving ventilation. Which option identifies the pressure with this function, changes relative to atmospheric pressure to move air? Option A, skin barrier. Option B, muscle fascicle. Option C, intrapulmonary pressure. Option D, endochondral ossification. The correct answer is option C, intrapulmonary pressure. The role tested here involves driving ventilation. This pressure changes relative to atmospheric pressure to move air. It can also be identified because it falls during inhalation and rises during exhalation. Question 15. Which option identifies the measurement best matching this description? It excludes air that remains in conducting passages, and it measures fresh air reaching gas-exchange regions each minute. Option A, alveolar ventilation. Option B, pulse pressure. Option C, minute ventilation. Option D, diastolic pressure. The correct answer is option A, alveolar ventilation. For evaluating effective ventilation, this measurement measures fresh air reaching gas-exchange regions each minute. It can also be recognized because it excludes air that remains in conducting passages. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations. Question 16. Which option identifies the process best matching this description? It responds to neural and chemical input, and it generates the basic rhythm of breathing. Option A, glucose absorption. Option B, medullary respiratory center. Option C, glycogenolysis. Option D, a blood glucose regulation. The correct answer is option B, medullary respiratory center. For controlling ventilation, this process generates the basic rhythm of breathing. It can also be recognized because it responds to neural and chemical input. The remaining choices have different primary functions or locations. Question 17. A student is reviewing a concept involved in adjusting ventilation to blood chemistry. Which option identifies the process with this function, detects low arterial oxygen and changes in pH or carbon dioxide? Option A, blood glucose regulation. Option B, peripheral chemoreceptor. Option C, bone remodeling. Option D, placenta. The correct answer is option B, peripheral chemoreceptor. The role tested here involves adjusting ventilation to blood chemistry. This process detects low arterial oxygen and changes in pH or carbon dioxide. It can also be identified because it is located in carotid and aortic bodies. Question 18. A learner connects the clues, measures additional air that can be inhaled after a normal inspiration and reflects extra inspiratory capacity. Which option best matches both clues? Option A, inspiratory reserve volume. Option B, residual volume. Option C, tidal volume. Option D, expiratory reserve volume. The correct answer is option A, inspiratory reserve volume. The function described is that this volume measures additional air that can be inhaled after a normal inspiration. A second identifying feature is that it reflects extra inspiratory capacity. Together, the two clues explain the role in assessing lung volumes.
Stressed about your ATIT-7? We can take ATIT-7 for you remotely and undetected. We always guarantee a pass and payments only after results. To send us an email, scan the code or tap the link in the description and let's get it done.
Question 19. A learner connects the clues, moves air out as thoracic volume decreases, and is usually passive during quiet breathing because of elastic recoil. Which option best matches both clues? Option A, exhalation. Option B, peripheral chemoreceptor. Option C, cytokinesis. Option D, peptide bond. The correct answer is option A, exhalation. The function described is that this process moves air out as thoracic volume decreases. A second identifying feature is that it is usually passive during quiet breathing because of elastic recoil. Together, the two clues explain the role in ventilating the lungs. Question 20. Which option identifies the pressure with this feature? It helps keep the lungs expanded against the thoracic wall. Option A, T helper cell. Option B, hypotonic solution. Option C, intrapleural pressure. Option D, trapezius. The correct answer is option C, intrapleural pressure. This pressure participates in maintaining lung inflation. It remains below atmospheric pressure under normal conditions, and it helps keep the lungs expanded against the thoracic wall. Those details distinguish the tested concept from related choices. Question 21. A student is reviewing a concept involved in moving carbon dioxide from tissues to lungs. Which option identifies the process with this function, carries most carbon dioxide in blood after chemical conversion? Option A, bicarbonate transport. Option B, external intercostal contraction. Option C, fatty acid absorption. Option D, meiosis. The correct answer is option A, bicarbonate transport. The role tested here involves moving carbon dioxide from tissues to lungs. This process carries most carbon dioxide in blood after chemical conversion. It can also be identified because it depends on reactions inside red blood cells and buffering in plasma. Question 22. Which option identifies the process most important for adjusting breathing to acid-base status because it responds mainly to carbon dioxide-related changes in brain fluid pH? Option A, external intercostal contraction. Option B, implantation. Option C, water absorption. Option D, central chemoreceptor. The correct answer is option D, central chemoreceptor. A key clue is that this process strongly influences normal ventilatory drive. It also responds mainly to carbon dioxide-related changes in brain fluid pH. That combination is central to adjusting breathing to acid-base status. Question 23. A student is reviewing a concept involved in oxygenating the circulation. Which option identifies the process with this function? Exchanges gases between alveoli and pulmonary blood. Option A, iron absorption. Option B, hemostasis. Option C, a follicular phase. Option D, external respiration. The correct answer is option D, external respiration. The role tested here involves oxygenating the circulation. This process exchanges gases between alveoli and pulmonary blood. It can also be identified because it depends on partial minus pressure gradients and a thin respiratory membrane. Question 24. Which option identifies the process associated with moving carbon dioxide from tissues to lungs? In both clues, it carries most carbon dioxide in blood after chemical conversion, and it depends on reactions inside red blood cells and buffering in plasma. Option A, external intercostal contraction. Option B, bicarbonate transport. Option C, fatty acid absorption. Option D, meiosis. The correct answer is option B, bicarbonate transport. The function described is that this process carries most carbon dioxide in blood after chemical conversion. A second identifying feature is that it depends on reactions inside red blood cells and buffering in plasma. Together, the two clues explain the role in moving carbon dioxide from tissues to lungs. Question 25. A physiology item gives two clues. It exchanges gases between alveoli and pulmonary blood, and it depends on partial minus pressure gradients and a thin respiratory membrane. Which option identifies the process? Option A, iron absorption. Option B, external respiration. Option C, hemostasis. Option D, follicular phase. The correct answer is option B, external respiration. The role tested here involves oxygenating the circulation. This process exchanges gases between alveoli and pulmonary blood. It can also be identified because it depends on partial minus pressure gradients and a thin respiratory membrane.